Hey everybody, my name is Juhani. It's been a long time since I've been on stage. Last time I was on the stage, I think I used to be an Android developer. I'm no longer, I do more spreadsheets nowadays. But I used to know Android. For the couple of last years, I've been focusing on the automotive side, Android on automotive, and the business side and understanding the ecosystem and all of those things. So I thought I'd do a quick 20 minutes about what I've learned, how I see the future of automotive apps, and what's going to happen, in my opinion. And after this one, in the same room, we're going to have a panel discussion with some automotive experts and automotive industry people who actually know what they talk about. So that's it. So, fragmentation. Those of us who started at the era of early Android, if you were in Keynote today, with the old school people, Android 2 and so on, you remember these pictures. This is the fragmentation of Android, and we were told Android will never survive, Android's impossible to write software for, it's fragmented. If you read The Verge or whatever website, I think they knew what they were saying. Now, all of these things caused problems for us, kind of. We were told that we can't create stable software, we can't create nice-looking UI, we can't do anything. But why wasn't it a problem? Because it wasn't. It wasn't a problem because Android was designed to handle all of those things. Android 1.0, the 1.1.5, 1.6, all of those things, they had these density buckets, size buckets, all of those things that allowed us as software engineers to create very good user interface, user experiences on the Android system. Now, there were still some problems, but Google stepped in quite quickly with the support library and all of the Google Play services, all of those things. They started to stabilize. And the user experience of the developer experience for Android became very, very good, despite the fragmented devices. So we were able to build very good software for them. Now, we go to automotive. Like we heard in the morning from Eric, cars are going to run Android. And my bet is almost all cars within 5 years are going to run Android. Traditionally, how car makers built their operating systems in the infotainment systems, they built them with Linux, they chose UI kit, they put stuff on top of that one, they all built their own thing. We wanted to build an app for a Volkswagen, you had to figure out how to use their software, their programming languages, their toolkits, what they didn't do. Now, what happened? Automotive industry realized that Android is the future, often driven by business. They go and force Android into cars, and they're like, this is it. It's going to be, we're going to now do Android. Because we do Android, we're going to have millions of apps. Our ecosystem is going to be there. But what often the management side especially misunderstands, that Android operating system and Google Play app ecosystem are different things. They often not coupled. So when you put Android in a car, you have 0 apps from developers. You go to Play Store, you have a lot of apps from the. But Play Store might be a trap. Let's see where it goes. But what Google has traditionally done, if you remember what Google did to mobile apps, mobile phones and mobile devices, if you don't go with Google, you have nothing. Ask Huawei, right? Is this where we want to go? What is the alternative? What's going to happen? Now, in the meanwhile, the car companies have been building their systems. And car companies are not traditionally understanding what Android does. They have really good people working for them, but it's often driven by people who don't understand what's going on. So what they do, they build their own system. They're just building their own stuff. They're building all of those things. And for us, we've seen this before. You remember HTC Sense, you remember Sony whatevers, and all of those things, what's going on. But unlike what happened in the mobile industry, what's happening in the automotive industry is that the systems they built are not compatible with each other. They change APIs on different levels. The apps don't run the same way. They make very drastic changes. They want to have their own theming, own styling, own identity. We want to own the customer. right? So that leads into fragmented base of operating system. Basically, your app you write for one car will not run in another one, maybe. That's the real fragmentation I talk about. We avoided that in the mobile. We haven't avoided here yet. On top of that one, if you don't go Play, you have to go with another app store. Currently, there's 2 big players in the market. These people are fighting a valiant battle. I don't envy them. It's a very tough place where they are. Very good people working in both of these companies. But App Store is not the technical problem. Building an App Store is actually quite trivial. It's just an APK distribution system. Getting an app developer, you guys, to write an app and maintaining it in another place is the problem. Ecosystems are super hard. You heard Amazon canceled App Store, the Android App Store on Windows 11. Windows is the biggest computing platform on the planet, at least B2C market. And Amazon, massive company with infinite money, went like, meh, we can't do this. OpenAI is struggling with their own ecosystem. So how is it? Some of us have not built apps for cars yet, but how does it feel to build an app for a car? If you follow the Google guidelines, Google has templates, you put data in templates, you release the Google Play, and everything should work. If you don't have Google Play, some car manufacturers have the same templates. Templates are part of open source. The smart ones are using them. But what then? You install an emulator that doesn't have gas, you get this horrible thing. Google doesn't care about non-gas systems. The emulator they release on ASP is unusable. You can't test the templates, it doesn't have them. We try to, from Snap, we provide emulators for you that have the templates, you can try them, but it's not perfect, it's far from perfect what's happening there. So you go through this struggle, and then you figure out, why am I doing this? What is the audience I'm going to reach with all of these problems I have to go through? And this is just to show the difficulty, the uphill battle the car makers are currently fighting. You take Volkswagen Group, the biggest one in Germany, all of their cars from 23, and imagine all of them would run Android, all of them. It's half of the number of Samsung Galaxy A14, which is not even the biggest selling phone. And if you look at all the phones sold by Samsung, that's different. Now, okay, let's take all the cars in the world against Samsung. You're still in fraction. And not all of these cars run Android. And they're not compatible with each other. So what's going to happen, right? So what is Google doing at the moment? What's happening in the Google side of the thing? We saw the Polestar launch and the Volvo launch. They have a lot of partners coming on board. They got Google Play services in the car, gas. And at the moment, it's looking pretty all right. I have a Polestar. I like the system. It's a good car. That creates some more stability. So you can actually quite easily deploy a software to a Google car doing those things. So there are more and more partners going on. But if you actually read what Google is doing, they're putting the effort on Android Auto, the projected mode. That's years ahead. We still have half the functions only in the Google Android Automotive OS versus Android Auto, the projected mode. This is speculation. I have no insider information, but I think Google is betting big on Android Auto, not on Android Automotive OS. I think gas is a side project for them. I think. So all the innovation is going elsewhere. So naturally, automotive makers, they're kind of a bit hesitant to go in the bed with Google. They want to get a vibrant ecosystem. They want to push forward, do something else, but they don't know if they get it from Google. So they're figuring out what's going to do. And why do we generally want apps in the cars? We want to outsource our innovation. That's what we do. And you have a massive crowd, you have thousands and thousands of developers building something. Some of them will figure out something smart and something interesting, and you want to have it in their cars. So we want to drive innovation in the open ecosystem, all those things. So if you don't go with Google, what do you do? There's an initiative going on. There was a talk yesterday about this, and it's called Cerveza. It's a committee of committees building a standard APIs. Now, the problem with the committees is that it goes very, very slow. If you do with committee of committees, it's even slower. If you participate to cover a call, you're an automotive company proposing something and the other one is responding, I need to go and talk to my people and I can't respond to you. So you can't even have a conversation lifetime, which is understandable. These people work for companies, they can't do individually. That said, something's happened already, so this is available now. We helped Covesa folks to build this stuff together with BMW. It's available there, so I have glimmer of hope about this one. I think Google is a real player in the market, but this is the way I think car companies can come forward. My advice to all the car companies has been, you die alone or fight together. Nobody will write software for Volkswagen, BMW, or Mercedes, but somebody might write software for all of them, as long as I don't have to maintain all of them separately. There's a chance that there's big enough market, big enough interest if all of them work together. And that's the Covesa initiative. That's what we try to do there, is to standardize gas replacement and beyond to all the car makers that are participating. Now, will it succeed? I'm skeptical, but I hope. I think that's the only chance. At the moment, there's not much going on in the SDK, but they're hopefully going to be in 1 year from now, there's going to be much more. The point is to create an innovation platform there that is shared across the things. So what we try to do for the non-Google cars is basically what Google did with the Play services and all of those things that enabled us to write to all of those different devices. We're trying to do, this is the only marketing slide I have, Snap, we try to create a hardware development kit as well for make it easier. Now, I think we have a couple of minutes left. I want to go back to history a little bit because Eric did as well in the keynote. Do cars need apps? We remember when Google TV launched, some of us do, and Google wrote Twitter for TV. Then everybody realized you don't need Twitter for TV. Do you need Twitter for cars? Why not? What do you need for cars? A car company told us this. Okay, which 500,000? I don't need 500, I need 5 good ones. Give me 5 good ones. That's it, that's it. We don't need to have a massive ecosystem to have a good ecosystem, right? This thing really rubbed me the wrong way. This really pissed me off when I read it. I'm sorry if somebody involved in this one. Proclaim innovation in the automotive industry. Here is a way to order food from your dashboard. Right? What they did, they put a browser in the dashboard. Why would I want to order food from my dashboard? I have a phone that does it perfectly fine. This app you can't use while driving anyways. So when you start doing things and try and put stuff in the car, apps in the car, you as an app developers, can think about a little bit what's the point. So I made up these 3 rules, with 2 of them are pretty much the same. When you think, does your car need this application? If it fits one of these boxes, it's probably a good idea to explore. If it can be done safely while driving, music, navigation, makes a lot of sense. Charging applications, makes a lot of sense. We want to have those in the car. That's the thing. If the app is somewhat improved by the connection to the car, pull some data from the car that makes sense. Think about the food ordering application. If I can be in a traffic light, I'm late, I'm coming home, and my car says, okay, you're coming home late, you have no food at home, I know you're going to want to order a burger and pizza or whatever you want to do, and they have 2 buttons on the dashboard, and I hit one of them. And that's it. The car application will send that order to the food place. It sends my details when I'm arriving home. If I'm stuck in a traffic jam, it will communicate automatically there. It will say, okay, don't worry about it. The food will be there when you go. You don't have to worry about the traffic. If you delay it, we will let them know. Now, the food ordering app starts to make sense. It's actually using the car data to do something to this. And one test that I wish all car makers and app developers would do is before you build an application for a car, you go, why would I not do that on my phone instead? If it's something that you prefer to pull out your phone and do it. I don't buy the use case examples of, okay, I want to use apps when I'm charging. Charging is getting faster. You want to go to loo and have a coffee instead. If I've just been sitting in a car for 2 hours and charging 15 minutes, I'm not going to be sitting in a car for 15 minutes. If it's raining, I'm going to use my iPad, not the infotainment system, because it's right in front of me. So all of these things are going to be, and then the other use case is always, well, autonomous driving is happening. So then we need this infotainment system. Well, then you don't need infotainment system, then you said entertainment system, right? It doesn't have to be connected to the car anymore. So again, we have a really fragmented app ecosystem, we have a really fragmented system of automotive, but there's some use cases that are going to pop up as we work together as an automotive thing. I wrote a fragmentation post about this one, so all the things I'm rambling about is in here. You can find it on the website. I wanted to speculate a little bit. I have 4 minutes left. I paint Google in a very bad picture here. Actually, nothing against Google. But at the moment, Google is winning by default in the automotive. There's no alternative. Literally, these car companies, they're looking at app ecosystems, and they go, fuck it, we need to do Google. We can't get apps anywhere. And when Google wins by default, they won't do anything about it. My threat is that my bad scenario is that Google will win, it's going to be dominant like mobile, and then they stop innovating. Is it likely that Google Automotive Services will ever give you the destination of the navigation system? Not likely. Can we do it somehow else? Probably. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're going to have a happy future. I like the AI-generated pictures. We're going to have a happy future of Android. In my opinion, the automotive industry is in a really difficult spot right now. Take a decision moment. Work together, build something cool. Automotive can be very, very interesting platform to build apps for us, an app developer. But we will not build for one brand. That's basically it. That's my super quick one. Like I said, there's going to be people talking here who's going to be probably very mad at me now after this one. I'm going to be talking here on this stage. And they know much, much more than I do about automotive, the OEMs, App Store people, and all of those people are talking there. Anyways, that's very good, quick Android fragmentation in automotive. Thank you.